ठीक है, so we can begin right away.
Yes, sir. Sure.
चलिए. So welcome Mayank.
Thank you, sir.
How do I address you, as Mayank or as Bhushan?
Sir, as whatever you like, sir. I'm fine with both.
What do your friends call you?
Sir, friends call me by Bhushan, but whatever suits you, sir.
Okay, so is that your first name, Bhushan?
No, sir. My actual name is Mayank Bhushan combined, and Singh is different. So Singh is my title. Mayank Bhushan is my name.
Very well. So I've gone through your application.
Yes.
Tell me something which is not there in your application. Something interesting about you. If I want to know you as a person, I want to know you better.
So I mean, sir, Upanishad is already there, but I am very I would say well read in philosophy, in different philosophy. So I have read almost all major books in Stoicism, Roman philosophy. I am well versed in different Advaitavad books, Ashtavakra Gita and others. Also, I am quite good in AIML, in coding part, which is
In
not mentioned in AIML coding, sir.
AIM, what does that stand for?
AIML, that is artificial intelligence machine learning coding part, sir.
Very well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me, Bhushan, what does success mean to you?
Sir, being content, being happy, being peaceful.
Okay, and would you describe yourself as successful, or do you think you will become successful after attaining certain things?
I think success is journey rather than, sir, destination. So certainly, I would say with time I am more successful, and as I do more that I want to do, I will be more successful.
Hmm. Uh, Bhushan, can success be measured in money terms? Can money be a barometer of how successful a person is?
I mean, sir, for certain person it can be act as a measuring rod, but I think for me personally, money doesn't make sense much, because I know that it's a byproduct of skill and talent, and as I invest in myself and keep acquiring more skills, I will be more content, and money is just a byproduct.
Very well. Uh, can you give me an analysis of the problem of corruption that is rampant in Indian administration? How can we deal with it?
I mean, sir, I have thought about this problem a lot. That okay, already Indian government is doing a lot, Mission Karmyogi, accountability, transparency, RTI, but still corruption doesn't seem to go away. So I was reading a book by Charles Duhigg, Power of Habit. So there is case study of idea of keystone habit. That is, we take the most core problem and we just focus on solving that, and through that, lot of other problems will converge. So what I think is that in corruption, the major issue is that people already give feedback what kind of problem exists. So how corruption start, how, so lot of feedbacks are already there, but we I think we can act a little bit more in that direction. So what I thought, that we can take quarterly grievance redressal, use AI to uh, generate some 2 3 key grievances, and try to solve those grievances. And as we do that, I think most of the problem will converge. And this idea itself is discussed in meditation, that if we try to in Upanishad, that if we try to focus on too many things, the core issue get missed away. So I think this idea of grievance redressal can be done. So if you allow me, I can even further elaborate how this idea was used by a major iron steel industry in America to actually solve most of the problem in company.
So, if I understand you correctly, are you suggesting that if we have a proper grievance redressal mechanism in place, the issue of corruption will be taken care of by itself?
Sir, I'm not saying that it will be taken care by itself, but I am saying that lot of things will converge, right? So accountability will increase. So if we are taking, let's say, if we are going by grievance redressal, so there is one common problem of middleman. So if we use technology, if we implement solution for that problem, lot of that issues will be resolved. So there is one of grievance in villages is that social auditing is not done regularly on a proper manner. So if we implement that, if we legalize that, I think that problem will be solved. So I think in compartments the problem will be solved through grievance redressal. We have to take one side of problem, and through that we can solve compartment by compartment the problem that exists in Indian uh,
So,
bureaucracy.
what if I understand you correctly? You're suggesting that improved grievance redressal will be a part of the solution to tackle the problem of corruption.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct?
Yes, I think it's one of the best parameters which can be used. Others already a lot of things Indian government is doing. That is Mission Karmyogi. That is right to let's say right to duty based accountability, RTI, lot of Jan Suchna portal. So lot of things are already there. I'm just saying that if we have to take cues, what to do more, that exists in grievance redressal. That exists in that grievances.
Mhm. Uh, Tell me, do you think something like ethics and morality can be taught in schools or colleges,
I
or
mean,
is it something
certain
more innate in a person?
I mean, it's a very complex question, sir. I mean, uh, but for me, I think it goes both way. Maybe through socialization, we certainly learn a lot of things. When we are small, as Kalam used to say that if a country has to be a country of beautiful minds, role of parent, teacher, and schools are quite important. So I certainly think a lot of role has to be played by teachers and parents. But overall, I think maybe it's sometime naturals too, because I have found out myself that I am quite attracted toward that area, or maybe I acquired some in childhood that I don't understand. But overall, I think it can be taught, and Upanishad certainly, I mean, shows us that it can be taught. For last 1 year, I have been reading these things, and I can certainly say that it has quite transformed my life, sir.
Okay. Uh, what would you say, Mayank, are your core competencies?
I mean, sir, can you? I mean, can you? I'm not understanding. Core competency means my skills, or
Yes, in what are you particularly good at, or in what way you have an edge over others, if I may put it that way?
so, sir. In e-sport games in general, I was quite highly ranked. I was
Esport.
ranked e-sport Dota 2. Is it? It is quite a rich game. So I was ranked under 200 in Southeast Asia at one point of time. In Catan, I was ranked under 100 internationally. Uh, Also in coding, I am particularly good. Uh, I have been associated with different types of coding and in different part of my life, especially competitive programming that I'm quite good at. And overall, I think, sir, philosophy, I would say. I mean, assessing myself, improving, making life better overall. I mean, being happy. That also I consider is a part of skill.
Very well. This esports that you engage in, do you think it has a detrimental effect on people's physical well-being?
Surely, sir, it has. Now I am quite less engaged with e-sport because I think time has come for me to move on. Still, occasionally, but I think detrimental effect, as you pointed out, certainly it's there, sir. I mean, at some point, even now, I think I am quite cool-headed right now. I'm quite calm, but I have observed that in some situation I completely lose control over myself and get completely engrossed in the conversation that's going between 10 people, 10 strangers, and I have my own opinion, they have their own opinion, and obviously a lot of opinions are bound to get conflicted. So that happens. But I think one key concept, if one has to be successful in sport, is uh, that the idea is to win, not to defeat other people. So when we uh, when we engage in a competition with the idea that we want to defeat others, and when we derive happiness from beating somebody or taking revenge from somebody, some kind of that leads to quite detrimental effect. We lose the game, and we lose our happiness and stability.
And you mentioned that your reading of philosophy helps you become a happier person. Is that what you suggested?
Surely, sir. Uh, uh, Reading Upanishad, I mean, sir, it has literally transformed my life in tangible and non-tangible both, in both
Yeah.
ways.
Correct me if I'm wrong. My sense is that philosophers tend to be, you know, somewhat unhappier than the average Joe. I mean, they over analyze things and ruminate on things, through various dimensions. They are more skeptical of, and they have a more nihilistic kind of an orientation. Is that an incorrect understanding of philosophy in general?
I mean, sir, if we start with any field, whatever you said is correct for that in its initial stages. So when I started with Stoicism, I read a lot, but it was not making sense to me. Actually, I was quite versed in Stoicism. I could quote, I think, 50 quotes on go, but I found out that it's just a knowledge. It means nothing.
Stoicism you were talking about, am I right?
Yes, yes, sir. So I
Hmm.
found out that it means nothing. It has no significance. Then I moved toward more. I was searching for more complete philosophy, and I found out that Upanishad. So all 108 Upanishads point out to one thing, that is idea of equanimity. That is in
The
pain
idea
and
of,
pleasure, equanimity, equanimous.
okay,
That we should be either in pain or pleasure. We should be balanced. And mathematically, that's also makes sense, because if we go on high on curve, we will come down some point. So if we just practice that, I think life will be much easier. And I read Upanishad not for the knowledge. It's a part of my meditation. So when I start reading 2 3 pages, I go in quite deep meditation by reading those 2 3 pages. So that's part of that. It's nothing new. Mostly I am not adding too much of information or knowledge. Even in Ashtavakra Gita, it is said that even meditation is, for higher stages, even meditation is a hurdle. So as you pointed out, that philosophy keeps entangled some people. So certainly, sir, it's true. I mean, Nietzsche was quite a good example. A lot of other quite good examples are there.
hmm. And is whatever you read in philosophy, is it like practicable life advice, or is it difficult to implement and integrate in one's daily life?
I think, sir, it's quite practical. I think the intention should be there. Strong intention should be there. If it's not there, it's meaningless. I mean, like everything, it also becomes a meaningless thing, because it takes a lot of practice and a lot of time to master these skills. So I can give a practical example. I have heard about Niskam Karma from very early age. It doesn't. Uh, 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 with time, let's say in month, I had sudden inspiration that I want to do that. I had lot of inspiration like that in past, but I found out that there is no tangible changes happening inside me. But through Upanishad, when I started slowly reading these things, so now it suddenly comes to my mind. So let's say I'm talking to someone, and I am getting quite, let's say, not content with the discussion or something. I just pull back to myself through those ideas. It just comes to my mind, because I have practiced it for a very long time. So I would say it's a uh, thing of
Excuse
time and patience. So it's a practice. I mean, sir, it's a practice, sir.
me. Hmm. Very well. Okay. Tell me, where have you spent most of your life, man? In which part of the country?
I mean, sir, I have been in many parts of country for quite equally time. So I was in 5 years in IIT Roorkee, maybe 8 years at my grandmother place and my nani place in my childhood, and for 6 7 years I was in Varanasi.
In
For 6 7 years, I mean, around, for in Varanasi for my school studies.
Varanasi.
And yes, sir, Varanasi. And
Okay.
thereafter, I did job in Gurgaon for around a year, and
Hmm.
1 year in Delhi for preparation. And for last 2 years around, I'm staying at my again Nani place, because uh, from childhood I have been staying there, so it's quite a home to me.
Very well. Okay. So, which of these places you would say you are most familiar with?
Uh, Again, sir, my Nani place, because I have spent childhood there, and it's
Which
quite a
is
good farm. That
Roorkee.
is No, sir. It's village. It's Dhansiniya village in Rajgarh, Mirzapur, Uttar
Sorry.
Pradesh. It's in Mirzapur, sir. Mirzapur district of Uttar Pradesh. There is a village called as Dhansiniya. So
Okay.
place is quite good. There are two ponds,
The
lot of
district is
trees.
Mirzapur.
Yes, sir. Mirzapur.
Hmm. Can you give me a sociological profile of Mirzapur?
Uh, I mean, sir, literacy overall is quite low. It's around 60%. Uh, Overall, it's quite backward district if you look economically, but socially it's quite rich. Tribal places are there. If we are talking about environment, quite a lot of localized forest is there. Lot of natural green beauty is there. Different falls are there. And my original district is Sonbhad, which is just adjoining to Mirzapur, which was earlier in Mirzapur. So overall, Sonbhadra and Mirzapur combined together prevent uh, produce a lot of potential in human development, in tribal development, in mineral development.
Very well. And what is this, about Varanasi that it has so many names?
I mean, sir, it is a very ancient city, so it's quite obvious to have some many names. So, Assi name, it is also some, in ancient it was called Assi. Assi, that is river that joins Ganga. Varanasi, again, Varuna and Assi river when joins, it is called Varanasi. Uh, Banaras, I mean, sir, it's not coming to me right now, but there is significance of uh, uh, Banaras also. These three is on top of my mind. I think there are one or two more, but it's right now it's not
Kashi?
coming. Kasi, yes, sir. Kasi. I think Kasi. Uh, it was again, sir. I'm not able to recall the exact significance behind it.
Okay. The only thing we've been hearing from UP over the past month and a half is about the Kumbh Mela.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Do you think that the Kumbh Mela is, uh, you know, occupying too much attention and resources of the administration of the state?
I mean, sir, when we are talking about almost half population of country, so I think resources and attention cannot be overstated because around 55 crore people have already visited Mahakumbh, and it has brought a lot of financial and cultural richness to Kumbh that lot of people visited. So
Hmm.
it was also very important that administration was quite good there, because as we have seen, even small oversight can lead to a lot of negative media coverage and lot of negative incident. So I think when half of country people are visiting some place, so it's quite important that quite good coverage and administrative resources are allocated to that thing.
Hmm. Uh, are you aware like how technology has been used to manage the Kumbh better this time around?
Yes, sir. I mean, lot of technologies has been used. So drones technology to keep surveillance, to assess number, use cameras. There are also tool booth for people found or lost, because we have heard stories that in Kumbh lot of people brothers get lost. Also, robots and drones are being used in water, that some people, if some people are drowning, that we can cover it up. Lot of, I mean, AI has been used quite extensively by police, by lot of administrative parts. And I think overall it present a quite good case study of how to manage such a population in quite effective manner, though there have been some incidents that could have been prevented, but overall Mahakumbh has been relatively successful.
Do you think, Mayank, that when we organize such large gatherings like the Kumbh, there are certain social issues which become particularly salient? Are there any social issues associated with Kumbh which come to mind?
I mean, sir, if we are talking about social issues, that means in negative term, or overall, I mean.
Any sort of challenges or whatever you can
So,
think of, be they positive or negative?
I mean, some positive things come to my mind. I think a lot of people comes with the idea of moksha, not God. So the idea of salvation, nirvana, that seems to be quite ingrained in Indian society. that
Hmm.
people are looking something more than material. I think in modern consumer world that's a quite significant feature. Also, I mean, people are going to quite sometimes. I'm not saying, but sometimes they are going to length which are not rational. So they are quite literally sometimes putting their lives at stake, which I have seen since I have been local there. So
Since you
that
have been.
I am I mean, sir, where I live, that's around 3-4 hours from Prayagraj. So I have
Okay.
seen people putting their life even at risk just to reach there. So
Hmm.
I mean, religion is quite
How
good.
is that positive? Like, since you were mentioning the positive aspects.
Sorry, sir. I mean, I'm talking about negative now.
Okay.
Uh, I did not
Hmm.
mention. Sorry. So that I mean, religion is quite good, but it should not be blind religion, as even pointed out by Swami Vivekananda. And also, it also point out that we as a community we can improve on following rules, because we have been breaking a lot of traffic rules in those places, and a lot of accidents have been happening. And I think overall, Kum present quite a good uh, overall cultural ethos of India, and I mean certainly the things that can be improved.
Okay. What is this with the? How do you see this? These administrative decisions regarding changing names of historical places like Allahabad to Prayagraj. Do you think it is something that the administration should be doing?
So, sir, there is Ministry of Home Affairs guidelines regarding name changes, how to change name of a place, and I think it's nothing new. It has been done historically. So overall, it should be balanced with what that is economics. When we change the name, lot of things needs to be changed. Railway station, lot of paperwork need to be done. Some communities may get quite offended, so that needs to be balanced. And overall, we are a democratic country, and we have right to decide uh, uh, the things like name change. So if there are case to be made, then changing a name, it's not a sacrosanct thing. It can be done, but I think overall consensus should be built, and balance should be made.
Very well. You were at IIT Roorkee, right?
Yes, sir.
So when did the Roorkee Institute become an IIT? In which year?
I think it was 2001, sir. Maybe I'm not sure.
2001. Do
Either
you think that?
it's
Yes,
sorry.
please.
Either it is in 2000 or 2001. I think it's in 2001.
Okay. Do you think that these newer IITs that the government is opening up or rechristening, are they able to live up to the brand IIT?
I
Or
mean,
you
sir, the
would say they
idea
are
is
diluting that brand? Like, how do you see it?
so obviously there are both aspects to this question, sir. Certainly the novel idea behind opening more IIT, that certainly India is producing a lot of talents. So it case can be made that old IITs do not have enough seats to accommodate, and a lot of new technical fields are emerging, so AI, neuroscience. So we can certainly open a lot of new IITs, but the problem is that if if we rush with these things, it can dilute IIT's brand, because infrastructure is lacking. So, in a lot of new IITs, faculties are lacking, students are not satisfied, and overall, if these things are not made, the students which are being graduated, they do not meet the standards that old IIT has set, like IIT Kanpur sometimes. So these things needs to be kept in check, and I think one modification can be done here. So like ISM Dhanbad, it existed for quite a long time, then it was made IIT. Certainly same thing for IIT Roorkee. So things like that can be done, so that institution first develop infrastructure and basic necessities, then we accord them IITs. But overall, the idea is not bad. Certainly we have a lot of talent that we cannot say that only old IITs can accommodate.
Hmm. Mayank, we every other day we hear of students who are preparing for the IIT entrance exam committing suicides,
Yes, sir.
particularly in places like Kota in Rajasthan. Can you give me a sociological analysis of these student suicides?
So, sir, we can even use Durkheim idea to understand the suicides that's happening in Kota, or for that matter in lot of educational institutes. So, I think students many times in Indian societies are quite integrated with their society's communities. They want to fulfill their parent request and social expectation. So when integration becomes too high and expectation becomes too high, sometimes they are not able to cope with those pressures, and they find it comfort. They commit suicide. Also, I think many times lot of cases of ragging has been there, so
Hmm.
it's also one of the issues. So in KIIT recently, I think suicide was committed because of ragging. So this is also a quite perpetual problem in Indian education system. Also, I think IIT Madras, four students who committed suicide were found lacking in vitamin D, that is sunlight. They were not having. So even director of IIT Madras said that they are not physically active, and since they are not physically active, many times they are not able to cope the pressure. So physical aspect is also quite important. So these three four reasons I think are major reason for committing suicide.
Okay, so if Mayank, imagine if you were made in charge of the administration in a district like Kota in Rajasthan, what concrete steps you will take to address the issue of student suicides?
So I would cite, sir, the steps taken by IIT Madras director, and I have read those, and I think those are quite noble initiative. So first, I think physical education is quite important. Sports, through sports, we learn patience, we learn perseverance, and that helps us to be committed to our goal even when some we face some setbacks. Also, I think there is need to be some social awareness program, like something online, like a beti bachao beti padhao, something like that, so that parents change their mindset, society change their mindset, that engineers and doctors are everything, because lot of emerging fields are there, lot of arts, lot of things are there, and people are succeeding in those fields. So it's not necessary that people when go to IIT then succeed. So social awareness program combined with physical individual physical mental development. And I think ragging, sir, we have lot of things, but I think we need to comprehensively cover this part, because there is still we are lacking a proper law on ragging, anti ragging law. So that certainly needs to be done, and people need to be made aware. And I found out that many times children are not even aware that they are committing ragging toward other students. So those particular field needs to be worked upon.
Those particular, can you repeat, please, your last sentence?
Those particular things need to be worked upon, that children are made aware the boundary between fun and ragging, because
Hmm.
sometimes that boundary is not clear.
Okay. Uttarakhand is often referred to as Dev Bhumi. Yes. Uh, do you think it is appropriate for a secular state to, you know, brand itself in a certain way which is associated with a specific religion,
Sir, Dev Bhumi,
or organize large scale events like the Kumbh Mela?
in Prayagraj, or in Uttarakhand, Haridwar?
In both cases, Uttarakhand has branded itself as Dev Bhumi, and the UP administration is organizing events like the Kumbh Mela. We have temples being managed by the government in Tamil Nadu and various other places. So, should a secular state broadly be engaging so intimately with a particular religion?
So I think, sir, our idea of secularism in Indian constitution is not strict separation of state from religion. So there can be role of state in religion, but overall, the point you mentioned, that Dev Bhumi, it's not. I think it's. Uh, I think it for me it would not be right to say that it's just associated with Hinduism, or for that matter any religion, because sir, Dev means that is God land. So it is said because of its spiritual nature, its a pristine environment. Those are the reason why it's called Dev Bhumi. And I mean, apart from any people from any religion who visit Rishikesh, they experience something magical and spiritual in those places. and I am personally I have personally uh, gone in Rishikesh and lived many times, and even did some
Gone to Rishikesh.
Rishikesh. Yes, sir. So I
Okay.
have conducted bhajan kirtan. I have done there in my college days. So it's quite surreal experience, sir. I mean, to associate it with some religion, it would not be right to say.
Okay. What do you make of the decision by the Uttarakhand government to implement a uniform civil code? Is that something that we should now be extending throughout the country?
So, sir, Uttarakhand has brought uniform civil code. The idea is that personal laws should not, a community personal laws should not impede upon individual rights, right to equality, right to life, and they are foundation to modern idea of nation state. Uh, and I think many times idea of uniform civil code are even misunderstood because they are about making people equal, not impede upon some personal religious practices. Though there have been some conflicts, but overall I think it's quite successful in states like Goa and many other countries. But the question about should it be extended at this time to a whole part of country, I think Uttarakhand has done this, and we should wait and watch that what is the impact of because pilot studies, sample study is also quite important before implementing such kind of thing, because it could create conflict and some kind of enmity between communities. So it's better to wait and watch. And Supreme Court also has to decide on such issues. Nine bench judgment judges has been set upon deciding essential practices and these things. So I think we should still wait for some time and see what happens.
Very well. Uh, are you aware, like, what is the difference between polygyny and polygamy?
uh,
POLYGYNY and POLYGAMY. Have you heard both of these terms?
yes, sir, I have heard. I think I get confused most of the time between these two terms. If I am correct, sir, you can correct me. I think polygamy is about marrying multiple females by a male, and polygyny is about multiple males marrying a single female. Uh,
Okay.
Something like that. I'm not sure. Is that correct, sir?
It is something like that, as you rightly said.
Yeah, okay.
Polygyny is what you said precisely, when one woman marries multiple men,
Yes, sir.
the opposite of which is polyandry.
Polyandry.
Sorry,
Okay.
uh, polyandry is when one female marries multiple men.
Mhm.
Polygyny is when one man marries multiple women.
Okay.
And
And sir,
polygamy is either of these cases.
okay. So polygamy is a general term, and these two are.
These two specific expressions of it.
Thank you, sir. It was
Yeah.
quite enlightening.
Are you aware of any polyandrous communities in Uttarakhand?
Polyandrist community.
Polyandry, I repeat, means when one woman marries multiple men.
In sir Uttarakhand, no, but in India, some community I'm aware.
Which?
I think Nair society it is practiced. In some Khasi Jaintia society, sometimes it is. I'm not sure, sir. I think I have read some studies, but I'm not sure exactly. In Nair society, for sure, I think it is practiced.
Hmm. Okay, let's. You worked in the private sector, yes,
Yes, sir.
and you were drawing a pretty handsome package there.
Yes, sir. At that time, it was quite good.
I hope you're aware you will not be able to make that kind of money as a civil servant.
Yes, sir.
So, are you okay with that?
Yes, sir. I am fine. Actually, I mean, sir, for me, money doesn't matter much. Honestly, I think for a man to survive, we need quite not too much. So I have seen my finances, and I think civil services, what it offers, it's quite enough for me.
Hmm. Uh, how much time have you worked in the private sector?
Sir, directly formally 6 months, and after that I have worked at different point of time, but that were like freelancing type of things, not in a formal way.
Any learnings from the private sector which you think that government departments can incorporate?
I mean, sir, balancing efficiency with uh, I mean, government departments goes through quite a lot of processes, which is good and fine as it should be. But I think government sector should learn efficiency from private sector. Private sector is quite efficient in implementing changes, also in correcting things which are wrong, and that area government certainly needs to that area government can work upon.
So
Also,
you're
I think,
suggesting that governments and bureaucrats have a tendency to let wrong things linger.
I mean, sir, it's not personal thing since government is a quite big institution, and
Hmm.
it's quite big machinery operate on a quite high level, big level. So in those processes, as system keeps increasing, as system gets bigger, entropy increases, so chaos increases in that system. It's quite natural, it's physics law, and that is the outcome of that system, not some individual. Certainly some individual may be involved, but overall the idea of efficiency we can learn from private sector. It's easy to say again for me, because it's theoretical in nature, but implementing such kind of efficiency is quite hard. And I mean, if we see across the countries, even developed countries, some kind of corruption do exist. So it's easy to say, it's hard to implement. uh, but if I have to say theoretically one thing that government sector can learn from private sector, that would be it.
Hmm. Very well. Some captains of Indian industry have been advocating a 90-hour work week and working on Sundays, and several such statements have been made recently. Do you think that is something we should be seriously considering as a society, as a country?
I think, sir, what we should be considering for our population to thrive and be happy, and 90 hours, and we should be flexible in that matter, because in some scenarios we can work for 90 hours, but I think it's not always required, because if we constantly go for 90 hours, some people may exhaust themselves, because some people tend to be more efficient in quite less amount of time. So it should be considered a flexible thing rather than imposing on everybody that now 90 hours rule. Also, it depends on the kind of stake that employee has. So let's say if someone has share, or someone is kind of owner in company, they may even work for 100 hours, 120 hours, as in the case of Elon Musk. But we cannot certainly expect from everybody that they are going to do that. So I would say flexibility is more important, and employee well-being is important for sustainable development and overall uh, uh, long-term flourishing inclusive economy.
Okay. What is your understanding, Mayank? Is there caste based discrimination or bias in the private sector in India?
So caste-based discrimination.
Yes, in the private sector, in the corporate world.
uh, Sir, I am not aware about too many incident. I think there was an incident in Infosys in which case was registered in USA. So it may, in isolated events are there, but I think in my experience in Oyo, I have not come across something like that.
Okay. Uh, some people also advocate that caste based reservation should be extended to the private sector. Is that a good idea, you think?
I mean, sir, I can see some benefits and challenges, but I think I'm not at a position to say it's a good idea or not, because private sector is known for efficiency. I'm not sure what exactly it will have impact on efficiency. I think Nageswaram judgment, which talks about quantitative data efficiency, and there was one more thing. This triple test should be applied, and it can be initiated in a pilot study manner to see what's the impact of caste based reservation in private sector.
Hmm. have we been able to tackle the problem of sexual harassment at the workplace through Vishakha guidelines and Bosch Act and other such measures? Has it been addressed, you would say?
I mean, certainly not addressed. There has been incident, I think, in even in my own company, and a lot of incidents are there in which women face some issues. But I think we have improved quite a lot, because in POS Act there is a thing about internal complaints committee, and I think a lot of companies has already set those panels. Also, I think a lot of awareness in corporate employees as well as corporate management is there about these things. So things are improving, but this discrimination and harassment comes from deep rooted some patriarchal issues in Indian society. So I
Hmm.
think to say it's resolved, it would not be right. I think as our society improves, as women get more empowered, these things would improve gradually, and sexual harassment would reduce.
Okay, Mayank, you know what a glass ceiling is?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what's a glass floor if you've heard of it.
I mean, sir, I have not heard it, but I can deduce it. I have not heard
Okay, so
about glass
do you
floor.
want to take a chance?
I mean, sir, I can. I think I want to.
Go ahead.
I think, sir, glass floor is something like that. There are some jobs which are considered male appropriate, which can be said as masculine. So let's say around 90% of worker in this cleaning, sanitation, cleaning are men. In construction, a lot of males are there. So that could be the idea of glass floor, as women are not represented in those jobs.
Okay. Have you heard of the glass escalator
No, sir.
or the glass cliff?
Sorry, sir.
Okay,
I mean, sir, I
let's
am
skip
hearing
that.
hearing them for first time here.
Okay, never mind. You worked in Oyo, you mentioned, right?
Yes, sir.
I think the company had changed its policy regarding renting out rooms to couples seeking some sort of proof of relationship, at least in some part of the country.
Yes, sir. In Meerut, West UP regions like Meerut.
So, do you think that's an infringement of privacy or was it a step in the right direction? How do you see it?
I mean, sir, it's a mixed issue. We need to balance individual rights with social order. And what Oyo started with the idea of this couple, I mean, they boomed because of it. And now they are putting bans, because there has been quite uh, unwanted incidents in past with couples who are not related. And in some situations, their parent create quite a ruckus in hotels. So the idea was that lot of hotel owners are not comfortable with this idea, and they are forcing, in a way, they are putting pressure on Oyo to remove these things. And I think in a pilot study way, Oyo has implemented in this some part of country to see what is the impact. But overall, I think there should be a balance, because certainly individual rights after people are adult, they should not be infringed upon. I don't
Hmm.
see a much difference, because even Supreme Court has recognized a lot of live-ins and other things. So I think there need to be consensus built upon this issue to what is the right path, because hotel owners are also justified in their instance, and also couples are justified in their instance, that they have right to life, right to equality. So I mean, we will have to see what happens.
Okay. You've been associated with fintech. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Can you help me understand why fintech has somewhat boomed in the last decade or so in India?
I
Is
mean,
it
sir,
right
we
of
are.
me to say it has indeed boomed?
Yes, sir, certainly. I mean, it has boomed, because a lot of third party companies are coming up. So let's say Uber, Oyo, a lot of people who provide third person services. So they are
Hmm.
essentially fintech companies mostly. and we are also moving toward a knowledge economy. So in that aspect, fintech becomes quite important. Also, as technologies improve, fintech again becomes important, as we can see in the case of UPIs, a lot of online transactions and these things. So in those regard also fintech becomes important. And overall, as we move toward knowledge economy, fintech will keep the role of fintech will keep increasing.
And do you think this digitization of payments uh, will eventually result in greater formalization of our economy?
I mean, sir, are you asking that I mean, I'm not understanding the questions. Can you?
My question is, now that you have UPI as a very popular mode of transaction, over time, do you see this resulting in the economy, the informal economy shrinking and becoming increasingly formal?
I mean, sir, technology again is enabler. So I think there are parallelly both things are happening. In a lot of places, formalization is happening because there has been record of all the transactions. In a lot of places, lot of informal things are happening because it can be manipulated. UPI transaction can be manipulated in ways. Lot of businesses are using it without formal registration as a business. So I think uh, it is enabling both parties to become stronger. Formal digitization, formal economy, also informal economy.
Hmm.
I think it's just an enabler. How people are using it is just up to them.
Okay. Uh, what were the highlight outcomes of the AI summit in Paris?
I think, sir, if I recall correctly, the idea was US, uh, EU, and other countries were trying to bring AI under some kind of regulation, and USA and UK were against this idea. They wanted
Hmm.
more freedom, that more regulation can put infringement upon uh, idea of innovation. And I think India also did not take a clear stand, though we talked about privacy and copyright issues. So I think consensus has not been built still, and
Hmm.
we are still in discussion phases. Maybe in next AI summit, we'll see what happens.
Very well. Uh, what is this deep seek, and why is it considered such a path breaking kind of a model? I mean, we already have many other AI models.
So two things stand out here, sir. The first one is the finances and resources used by DeepSeek, which is quite insignificant as we compare to other transformers and large language model like OpenAI. Uh, they they used resources around of $6 to $10 million, which in
How
comparison
many?
with OpenAI, 6
6 to 10.
to 10, yes, $6 million for hardwares, and overall $10 million. And OpenAI used around $500 million to train their model, that is ChatGPT. So this path breaking, it's because in such a constrained resources they achieve something like DeepSeek, which can compete with OpenAI. Also, in a very short amount of time they achieve by reverse engineering. So that is also goes to show China prowess in technology, and I think which we can learn upon from China.
You think that at some stage, sooner than later, India can also produce its own equivalent of a deep seek?
I mean, sir, I think India can produce even better as transformers improve, because a lot of resources, lot of human resources, which OpenAI, deep mind of Google, these things operate on. A lot of people are from India, and in particular from IITs. So we have resources, we have funding, we have India AI mission, uh, and I think as government push and as the demand for these things increases, I think in a very short while, I'm sure we will able to produce something like OpenAI.
Hmm. Uh, what is your sense, Mayank? Like, do these AI tools, do they reflect the biases which are prevalent in the society, or are they more rational, so called?
So, sir, I actually use large language models quite too much, and I also used to for last 2 months I have been practicing with AI voice, uh, and I would say that since they have been trained on pre-existing data, they do carry some inherent bias
Hmm.
because we don't know how they make decisions. Like we have instincts, they have billions of parameters, and they learn by doing some very complicated maths which we don't understand. So how they are making decisions to arrive to say something good or bad, it's still quite complicated, and there is lack of accountability and transparency in there, just like us humans, because it's called black box. We do because we don't understand what's happened behind. So certainly, I think they carry some biases, but again, I think, sir, as AI improves, there is something called learning by themselves. That is, a lot of AI chess models do that. So I think if we when we move more toward that, maybe we can improve upon. But talking about biases, I think they certainly do carry some kind of biases.
Yeah. You'll have to give me a second. I'll have to take a very short break. Huh? I'll just.
Fine, sir.
Mayank,
Yes, sir.
can you please? Yes. Okay, you've told me. I just want to also know, there's this lot of people paint a very dystopian future where technology has kind of overtaken human beings and controlling us. Is that even a distinct possibility you think with AI, or is it
Mm,
something that we've been worrying about since perhaps the industrial revolution at least, and it has not happened?
I mean, certainly, as in AI, there is particular idea of deep learning, and I think when we improve in that area, I think certainly it's not misplaced. The idea of technology taking over, sir.
It can happen.
I mean, certainly it can happen, sir, because deep learning is quite like it's close to human brain. So, uh, if in case they are able to learn emotion, which I think is certainly hormones, and as robotics improve, that is hardware combined with this software, bionics. So there can be possibility, and I think it's not a very misplaced idea that this could happen.
Very well. Man, tell me, how many Upanishads are there in total?
In general, it's around 108 Upanishad. It's 108,
Hmm.
but when we read commentaries of likes of Sankaracharya, it is said that originally it were around more than 2,100 something.
So is it that 100 of them are today surviving?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Today we can access those 108 Upanishad, and again, those are by established acharyas. That I mean, there is no empirical evidence to show that uh,
Hmm.
those existed or not.
What do you literally mean by the word Upanishad?
Okay, sir, I keep forgetting this, but idea of Upanishad is that uh, Upanishad, I mean, Upanishad, and I am forgetting what those three separately means. But the idea is that sitting beside it, I mean, below a tree, and learning from teachers, something that is imparted from teachers. That overall it stand out Upanishad.
Okay. What do the Upanishads talk about? If you could give me a broad sense. What are they effectively?
Sir, Upanishad is all about what is this cosmos? What are we? and what are our place in this world, how should we conduct ourselves, how should we internally conduct ourselves, how should we conduct with other not only human beings with other objects, how do we how do we control our inner engineering in external world. Lot of external things are happening which are beyond our control. How do we do that? But ultimately Upanishad, the essence of Upanishad is to attain nirvana, that is liberation from
Hmm.
life cycle.
You have had an opportunity to glean through how many of these 108 Upanishads?
Sir, currently I have read 6 of 10 major Upanishads. There are 10 major Upanishads and I have
Hmm.
read 6.
Very well. Which all?
Sir, largest one Brihadaranyaka, smallest one Mandukya, Kathopanishad, Isavasya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, uh, Aitreya Upanishad. I think those are 6, sir.
Hmm. Are there any phrases from any of these Upanishads which are a part of our national consciousness?
I think, sir, Satyamev Jayate, Vasudev Katumbakam from Maha Upanishad, Satyamev Jayate from Mundaka Upanishad. Sir,
Hmm.
I have read Mandukya. That is different from Mundaka. Mundaka is also one of major Upanishads, but I have read Mandukya.
Very well. Do you see any conflict, Mayank, between your training as a man of science and your interest in religious texts like the Upanishads? Is there a
I mean,
conflict between science and religion at a fundamental level?
I think it's absolutely in perfect sync, sir, in my opinion. As I read more and more, they are in perfect sync. So, if you allow me, I want to say my favorite sloka. Uh,
Please go ahead.
it goes like Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnamadaya Purnamasya Purnamevavsishyate. That means that this is whole, that is whole, from whole comes whole, and when we negate whole from whole, whole remains. That perfectly defines the modern idea of infinity, and that also defines the idea
Modern
of
idea
zero.
of infinity.
Infinity, yes. So if
Hmm.
we subtract infinite from infinite, infinite remains. If we uh, uh, outside of infinite there is nothing, and other one is that this universe, that is this infinite, comes from that infinite, so it's all one, so that is infinite. So mathematically if we do this complementary subtraction addition, this will perfectly define. There is again a stanza in Isavasya which says that human
In
germ cell,
stanza in
Isavasya, Isavasya Upanishad. So this essentially goes like human germ cells contain essence of every limb of human body, that is blueprint of DNA. And I mean, sir, there are many more. The ideas like universe started with a bang. So that is discussed in Chandogya Upanishad. The idea of it expanded with Om, and how multi universe exists, how universe comes into being, how it goes, how these vibrations still exist, and when maturity comes, new universe gets created. So lot of scientists are like Oppenheimer, like Schrodinger. They constantly used to cite Upanishads. So I think they are quite in sync with science, and I am quite surprised that how can our ancestor from more than 2000, 4000 earlier years ago, they knew things like these, that all matters are energy, that is Einstein theory of relativity. Uh, I
Hmm.
mean, sometimes it really surprises me, sir, how they were.
Have you heard of the Allah Upanishad?
Uh, Allah Upanishad.
Yes.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. Let's keep that aside. Do Upanishads talk or say anything on the issue of caste?
So caste per se did not existed at that time, so they don't go into caste. But the if we take the idea from Upanishad, they discuss something like sattvic, tamasic, rajasic. So that were the idea of varna. That idea of varna were derived from that. So sattvic means that someone who is of pure mind, pure character. Rajasic means someone who believes in action, that is kings like Arjun, or in
Hmm.
modern day we can say bureaucrats or someone who is involved in work. And
Involved in?
tamasic means let's say I am working in corporate, so I can be said as Rajasic. I want to conquer a lot of things. I want to acquire a lot of wealth, lot of material things. And tamasic means someone who is lethargic, lazy, or someone alcoholic addict, someone like that.
So
So
can
those ideas,
government servants be regarded as tamasic, as lethargic and
I mean, certainly, sir.
yeah?
I should not have put them in one category, but the overall idea, I mean,
Okay. Uh, would you say that Hinduism earlier was somewhat caste free, as you suggest, and in sync with science, but it has degenerated over time? Will that be a fair statement?
I mean, sir, Upanishad, I'm not sure. I can certainly say by reading Upanishad that they were not developed in 1,000 years. They were too old. They were discussed maybe 4 5,000 years earlier, and they do not talk about Hinduism per se. They talk
Hmm.
about our way of living, our science. Hinduism, I would say, it started materializing with Rig Veda, and uh, in early ages, if we look at Rig Veda, marriageable age was 16 years, so a lot of things were quite in scientific line. But overall, in the end, if we have to say that in middle, we the caste became quite rigid and strong, as in every social stratification it happens. With time, they acquire some kind of stratification that also happened in caste. But in modern times, with modern ideas, I think they are improving quite a lot.
Hmm. Are you suggesting that Upanishads are pre-Vedic?
Sir, if we go by the idea that Vedas came earlier and Brahmana and other Upanishads came in order, so we can say that in that theoretical sense, Upanishads came after Vedas. But I think the ideas that are discussed in Upanishad, I think they cannot be discovered in such a short span of time. So I think the ideas were quite old, and we also know that our philosophy developed through discussions.
Hmm.
So I think certainly discussions were prior to Vedas. Vedas are
Okay.
just a manifestation of those ideas, and Upanishad, I think, was overall concretization of all those ideas earlier.
Okay. Would you agree with feminist critics that Hinduism is anti-women? A lot of
I
Hindu
mean,
customs, scriptures like Manusmriti or even Ramcharitmanas for that matter, that they contain elements which can be clearly interpreted as anti-women.
I mean, sir, I can say that uh, from where these ideas come, but I think as the idea in Anekantavada in Jainism, that we look something from different perspective and we can uh, see things differently. So certainly the feminists that they are saying that some ideas can be in modern times that they can be considered quite patriarchal. But overall, I think Hinduism in general talks about in a very secular and very scientific way things, and there can be some instances where feminist ideas are placed rightly placed, but rightly placed in some
What are rightly
situations.
placed?
So, for example, they used to say that Bhishma Pitama forcefully uh, got two women to marry Dhritarashtra, and they did not want to marry. So, if I look from perspective of feminist lens, that can be justified that okay, they may, uh, but maybe in Mahabharata that can be justified in those times in those ways. But as we evolve, our ideas of secular and what's right and what's wrong evolve. So Sati was considered quite uh, divine just before 100 years earlier, but now it's, I think, it's biggest sin one can commit. So uh, those evolve, but overall certainly there can be some element again, sir.
Very
But
well.
Upanishad, I can say about Upanishad, sir, because I have not read Ramcharitmanas. I would not lie here.
Hmm.
And but when I read Gita and when I read Upanishad, so in Isavas, there are 18 stanzas. So after 13 stanzas, when those saints started to discuss something sexual, that how human body evolves, that is the idea of DNA, how it goes. So they asked particularly there that pregnant women please retire. So that means even pregnant women are allowed to listen.
Allowed to?
Listen. to teachers. So that certainly proves that there were no boundary, and they were asked to leave just because of scientific consideration that during pregnancy women should not hear things which are lewd, and which can they used to believe that whatever we say, talk, and how we conduct, that have effect on children. So that's why they were asked to retire from those gatherings.
Very well. Uh, Mayank, you've been a student of sociology.
Yes.
Who would you say is your favorite sociologist?
I would say, sir, maybe Durkheim.
Durkheim.
Yes, sir.
Anybody from India or who's analyzed Indian society?
Uh, I mean, if I have to say, I will say that Dipankar Gupta, because I have not thought about this. On top of it, some thinkers are coming, and I think Dipankar Gupta maybe would be more appropriate to say.
Okay, can you list some of the books authored by Dipankar Gupta?
Sir, I think I'm not able to recall his books, but one of his famous article, that India Between Modernity, is one of the famous thing that stuck with me. Uh, Another article was his Discrete Caste and Modeling Hierarchy. Again, in which book he discussed, I'm not sure, sir. I think, sir, it's very hard for me to recall any book right now. But his
Okay. Can you
ideas that
tell me in a nutshell what is his analysis of Indian society?
so overall he sees India as stuck between modernity and tradition. We have a lot of things that we acquired from Western countries, but like institutions, but we still have attitude, traditional attitude. So he gives famous example like marriage. We consider ourselves secular, but we still spend millions of rupees on marriages. So that cannot be said as modern. So he had quite nuanced view of Indian society, which I like personally, because I think there are a lot of uh, things which we need to see. We cannot just outrightly say that something is like this. Again, the idea of Anikantavada, we need to see it from different perspective, and that's why I think Dipankar Gupta quite stands out.
And does he talk about this in a negative way? The fact that we are somewhere between tradition and modernity, is it a does it have a negative connotation in his writings?
Sir, I think it's quite mixed, because some tradition I think he also appreciates. So because uh, uh, I mean, sir, directly from Dipankar Gupta perspective, I'm not sure if I can say correctly that he meant it negatively. But whatever I read, I read it in quite objective manner. So I think I was not able to get the tone from that.
Okay. Uh, Tell me some latest developments in the field of sociology.
I mean, sir, the recent Nobel Prize in Economics, which was given for this idea that how inclusive institutions are attached with uh, uh, developed countries. So
How?
this
Which
theme,
institutions?
inclusive, inclusive and country who has inclusive and trust building institutions are the countries who in long term become developed, and they have quantitatively proved this thing. So this has lot of articles are being written in sociology about this. Lot of this idea is being applied to different things. So I think this particularly idea recently piqued my interest, and I read a lot about it.
Any other you can think of?
So currently nothing particular comes to me.
No issues. Okay, Mayank, do you have any secret talents or any hidden talents, abilities that you can tell us about?
I think, sir, I'm quite transparent, and only hidden talent I have, I think, which through Upanishad I have acquired, I think, and I still practice it, is the idea of equanimity, how to remain calm. Because earlier I would say I was ashamed, maybe embarrassed of lot of things, but now I think I find myself with peace, in
Earlier,
peace
you
with.
were saying you were embarrassed of a lot of things.
Certainly, sir. Something which I am not proud. I was not earlier proud of. So, for example, uh,
And you overcome that fear of, being found out, or the embarrassment which it entails? Have you overcome it
honestly,
now
sir.
through the reading of Upanishads, you would say?
Honestly, sir, I don't care anymore about those things
Yeah.
because it is what it is, and we can do our best, and there is nothing more to do there. So, so for example, when I gave 2021 interview, uh, uh, and I had time of 5 days before prelims, and in interview did not go my way. I needed very less marks, but I was not even able to get there. So I was quite embarrassed of myself, and I was running in morning. It's one of my hobby, and I got into very severe accident.
Serious
Serious accident. I got into very
accident.
serious accident. Yes. So uh, I, I was not able to accept the idea that how I can allow myself. Uh, I mean, I wanted to control everything.
Hmm.
I'm like earlier I was quite meticulous in the way that before any, let's say before prelims, I would simulate the environment for 1 month, eating same breakfast, sleeping at same time. I mean everything. I wanted to control. I mean I did not use lift just because it could get stuck in that time. So but now I am able to accept those things. That okay, sometime external sometime external things happens,
Hmm.
and it's all about how I feel. And in Stoicism, there is a famous quote by Marcus Aurelius. It says that if we suffer early, we suffer more.
If
So,
we suffer early, we suffer more.
yes, sir, by Seneca.
Hmm. Uh, Mayank, if
Thinking
you've
about those
overcome
future,
your, sorry,
sorry, sir.
I'm saying if you've overcome your embarrassment, can you, without hesitation, share your most embarrassing, what would have been the most embarrassing moment in your childhood?
Sir, earlier, I think in childhood, my most embarrassing.
Childhood or even
Yes,
teenage
sir. Okay.
years?
Yes, sir. Okay. So in class six, when I was in class six, I stole 200 rupees from my uh, I mean my mother purse, and I I kept that secret for a year. I mean I did not keep. I wanted to keep it forever at that time, but somehow it was found out, and for 2 3 years I was not able to be in peace with that idea. Every day it came to my mind that okay, I committed theft, but now I see it. I mean it was just a part of process. I learned through that thing and I moved on. And I earlier I never mentioned this idea to many people, but now I don't care. I mean if they ask me, that it happened.
Thank you, Mayank.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So we are done now with our discussion.